Very jealous of that. But it is Friday, Tommy, and we got a scrimmage tonight, so a lot of fun things happening here, too. I mentioned before the break, but we're going to get into some of these cuts from Bootleg Football Podcast. It's with Brett Coleman, EJ Snyder. EJ Snyder was a scout for a while, college side scout in the NFL. Very good he's one of those draft guys where you can talk draft with him for hours, and he'll know every single player and what they're good at, what they're bad at. And so he does talk a couple of the draft picks that I want to get to. Wyatt Milam is one that he specifically spoke quite a bit on. So I do want to get to one of those cuts in a second. But their whole podcast, they do one on all 32 teams in the NFL during summer, and they go through and they ask 3 questions. What was the team's identity before? What is it now? And what does success look like for that specific team? Okay. Because obviously there's different levels. The success for Kansas City is the Super Bowl. I'm not quite sure if right now this year we'd be saying that here in Jacksonville is probably when the division is the start for now. See Trevor's next step, things like that. We can go individually. But so they answer those 3 questions with all 32 teams. And they start the podcast with kind of saying the biggest changes that were made. So they go into James Gladstone and Liam Cohen and how bringing those 2 guys in and what those 2 guys from their former regimes can add to Jacksonville or fix in Jacksonville. Yep. And so they start breaking down the offense in the beginning. And so with the offense, they talk about the effectiveness summary from last year. The Jaguars were the 22nd ranked passing offense last year. They were the 14th ranked rushing offense last year. They were the 32nd ranked passing defense last year, 23rd rushing defense last year, 26th in points scored, and 27th in points allowed. That doesn't give you very many wins, Tommy.
4 and 13 is what it gives you.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's where it all transfers. And they do go into saying in this podcast about how it doesn't always, they felt like maybe the Jags underachieved because he went through and he named several players like a Trevor Lawrence. He goes into, Brett talks about Trevor and he thinks Trevor is a good quarterback. He uses the word solid, a solid quarterback. He talks about Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen and Tyson Campbell and Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Etienne and some of these guys, to where he's saying you have these players. There's like a foundation there. So the fact that you only won 4 games last year, what happened? And so they kind of go into all of that, what happened offensively, what happened defensively, and what exactly that looks like for now this year with the additions they've made in the coaching staff, the additions that they made on the field between free agency and between the draft. So I wanted to get to a couple of the cuts from that because they do break a few things down in both sides of the ball, which I think are very interesting. So I want to get to, RJ, there's a few in there. If you'll just play the first cut that I have on that list, RJ, we'll get into the offensive line of, which is the start of, I feel like, everything this year.
No doubt.
When you're looking at the offensive line that they're building, right, with Hainsey at center, McCory at right guard, like Wyatt Milam is the polar opposite of Ezra Cleveland. Like if you want just nasty ass kicker, like he's going to win the left guard job if that's what you're going for here. And considering the style of run game that Liam had in Tampa, which was a nasty ass kicking run game, like we are getting downhill, like they do run a lot of counter there out of shotgun. But that was for the purposes of allowing their big, tough, physical offensive line to either down block the hell out of you or, you know, make smaller edge players or smaller safeties have to take on a 335-pound puller in space and get absolutely obliterated. Like they wanted to weaponize their size and aggressiveness. They didn't run a whole lot of zone relative to some of the more zone heavy teams in the NFL because they just wanted to get after you. Very similar to, again, circling back once again, the Sean McVay influences that we talked about earlier on in this series, and the Sean McVay influences that have been passed down to Liam Cohen. Like they believe in downhill aggressive run games, and that's what Wyatt Milam can do. So I think he has a really good shot of winning that left guard job because he kind of fits the mentality that I think Liam wants to have up front.
It's weird to say culture fit for a brand new regime, but he's almost more like a culture setter. Like this is what we want our guys to be up front, and he fits that role perfectly. We move into.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen that yet, to be honest with you. I think Ezra's going to win the job. Towards the end of the year, I thought he got real physical, and I thought Ezra was one of our best linemen, if not the best, at the end. I know he had some struggles, But I think as he finished, and I tell you, all throughout camp, he's been physical, and he can pull, and he can maul, and he can do all types of stuff. So I don't know. I don't. And that's not a shot on Wyatt. And we haven't seen enough.
We just haven't seen
enough. I mean, it hasn't been full speed yet. I mean, it's been somewhat full speed, but not to like game type speed.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see him. He could be a gamer. You know, and they're getting him in there a little bit. I don't know. Listen, I think I will say this. This is what I'd like to see with Wyatt Milam, especially if Walker continues to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Put Wyatt and McCarry's still out.
Yep.
Put Wyatt at right guard and let Chuma try the left tackle spot and just give it a shot and see what happens. If that happens. Now, if Walker bounces back and you feel more, comfortable about that happens, you feel better about him, then okay, maybe not, but it would be a good, piece to have if you had to go that route.
Yeah, if you have that, anytime you have that versatility and guys that can play multiple roles if something happens, it's good. It'll be interesting to see because he talks about the toughness of the offensive line that they did, but it's also interesting because in Tampa, in addition to being that tough physical O-line, they also were kind of agile and moved a lot. There was a lot of movement and in that offense in general. So being able to have the type of offensive lineman that can do both is really important in Liam Cohen's offenses.
Yeah, and it's interesting when you named all the players like Tyson and all the nobody inside.
I did not.
And they haven't they've
on
addressed
either
it
line.
right on either side. So you can have all this other stuff, but if you don't have the beef in the middle to control the line, or at least somewhat control the line. And maybe they do. Look, Armstead hasn't been out there. Mason, you expect him to be healthy at some point. That'll make a
been
difference.
Hurt. Does that change things?
Yeah, well, that's why you got Milam, right?
Yep.
You drafted him high to, to be that guard. Everyone thinks you got to take over Ezra. Look, he's got to be able to play either guard.
Yep.
He played tackle in college. So maybe, who knows? Maybe you give him a run somewhere.
That is a strong indicator that you don't name any of the middle 5, 6 people on either trenches.
Yeah, so now granted they're one of the best, but you can name Philly, Philly's center and guards, right?
Yeah, and you can name Phillies, you can name, when you go through in general with the teams, when you talk about the best teams in the league, the majority of the time you are naming one of the defensive, the firemen or the defensive tackles. So they go on, they start the podcast. That was just kind of I wanted to share that because it was about Wyatt Milam, that they're very high on Milam, what it could look like. A few weeks ago before camp started, I was saying the same thing. I was really excited about Milam because I had concerns in other areas of the offensive line. To your point, we haven't really got to see that yet. So we will see if this next month in camp that changes at all. But they started the podcast with talking about some of the issues from last year. So they were talking about the man coverage. We know how much they were in man coverage last year, and it became a problem. So they kind of break down that a little bit. So let's just talk about that man coverage from last year to start.
But if you're playing a lot of man coverage, everybody is in man on the field. So if you have 1 weak link, 2 weak links, they're just going to throw it at everybody else. And so you look at, these safeties in man coverage, like Darnell Savage, Johnson, they were awful, absolutely awful in man last year. They got exposed a lot. If you're looking at the overall corner group, they had a 101.6 passer rating allowed in man coverage. That was really, really bad. I think that was 4th worst in the NFL. They had the 3rd most first downs given up in man coverage. And so, again, if you're playing that kind of lean and mean simplistic style, you better have the dudes to do it. And they just didn't. And unfortunately, their pass rush, even though they have some guys we like, their pass rush overall wasn't good enough to make those DBs' lives easier.
When it comes to the defensive backs from last year and what didn't work, what frustrated me was the fact that that's happening. You have corners that are allowing 101 passer rating in man coverage. You are allowing the most first downs, converted third downs, most first downs in man coverage, yet you never felt like you had to switch anything throughout the year, and the guys couldn't keep up with it.
Well, listen, Darby came to be that guy.
Yeah, that's why they got rid of Darius Williams, because he didn't fit the man coverage.
Because he was a zone kind of player. And then, if you recall, they started playing him off, coverage and zone, and he was getting schooled.
Toasted, yeah.
If you don't don't have the rush, man zone, they were getting beat.
Yeah.
They were 32nd in the league for a reason. And there was not enough pressure on the QB, not enough consistent pressure on the QB. So that, again, we think we have it.
Yeah.
Add in Agba. We know what we got with our starting defensive ends, and they're going to be great. Trayvon looks like, sky's the limit for that young man. He looks incredible. I'm just a little concerned on the inside. Who's going to be healthy and who's gonna play? The big mystery with Eric not playing yet. I don't know. They say he's not hurt. But hopefully maybe he'll play tonight. It'd be fun if he was out there tonight, even for just a little bit with his teammates and participating in, football related activity. No, he's doing he's doing the individual drills, but we haven't seen him in the team. We got to be out there, man. We need to see out there.
We've had 2 weeks of practice now at this point, and not seeing him. Every time I look at the text line and we start talking about it, because they say that was Liam Cohen's answer was, we're easing him in, it's giving him the veteran treatment, I guess is what it is. But there's guys, Smoot's also 30. There's multiple guys on this team that
Agba's
are Agba, yeah.
And Murray, I think, is near that age.
It is a little odd to me, and it will continue to be odd until we actually see them out there practicing and what that looks like. But I did want to get into, because they also start talking about Travis Hunter and Travis Hunter's fit on the defense, what type of corner he is, his biggest strengths, things like that, where they think he could fit on an NFL defense and what they think he can do best. So they do talk. Let's get to that one, RJ. It's Travis Hunter, what type of corner he should or could be in the NFL.
Bringing in Campanelli, who also, he was part of a staff that ran more cover 2 than almost anybody else in Green Bay last year. So I have to imagine cover 2 is still going to be part of this defense's identity. And Travis Hunter, we talk about him as like a man cover corner. I don't even want him being a man cover corner. I think that kind of takes away his best asset, which is getting his hands on the ball. I want him to be a curl flat defender in cover 2. I want him with his eyes on the quarterback. I want him, being able to midpoint between a threat behind him and a threat in front of him, and then break on the ball and get me interceptions. You get a lot less interceptions in man coverage than you do in zone coverage. That's just how defense works. And so if I'm drafting him that high and I want him to play corner, I'm not going to stick him in man coverage. I'm going to play cover 2. I'm going to try to get him to get me the ball and then just have him stay out there on the field and throwing bombs on offense. So from a defensive schematic perspective, he's perfect.
I thought they played zone in Colorado. I don't know. Look, again, he's going to fit just fine. But if we don't have a rush, I don't,
nothing.
And just throw bombs to him. That's so funny. Yeah, he's just not right. He's faster than everybody, man. Nobody can catch him. It's like Forrest Gump, man. Nobody can catch that guy at all. No, it's, look, he's going to be very dangerous. There's no question. In all transparency, something happened on the Parker Washington catch, because that was in his area. I don't know if he released them or didn't release, so I don't know in that regard. There was another time, but Trevor threw a nice ball. It was cover 2, where you drop you drop your guy to the safety at some point in cover 2.
Yeah.
Right? Unless they go vertical all the way, you run with them, obviously. But if they break it off, you're supposed to drop it to the. So when do you drop it? There's always a hole in cover 2 on the sideline between the safety and the corner. If you time it right, it's hard to defend.
Yeah.
Now that means you got to have a perfect pocket. Your guy doesn't get jammed at the line, and he's there when you got to throw it. But it's hard for that when they pass that off. If you're not right on it, it's tough to not to stop that kind of pass. So, look, he is.
You want to, I think, and this is what you're going to talk about, especially if he really is, if he's majority offense, Tommy, and you are asking him to be out there in certain situational downs, then in that light, it does seem to me like they'd want him to be that guy that does have his eyes on the quarterback and is the one you're trying to get those picks, trying to end this drive quicker than what it is. And he's a great catcher. He's a wide receiver also, so he has really good hands. And if you can use that to your advantage defensively, then you definitely want to. We've talked about, and you mentioned when we had our show on Wednesday, about your concerns on the area of the field of him getting hit in certain areas of the field. And hitting in certain areas. On both sides of the ball, obviously, you have that in the kind of midfield area. And so that is going to be what I think a lot of people are wanting to, can you do that? If you can do that, then there's no, I feel like almost no concern.
First of all, I'd keep him in space as much as possible on offense and defense, right? Like play him more in zone, like we were just listening to, and then even on the offensive side. Look, I'm not saying he can't. I'm sure he can, but how long can he hold up making hits? And I'm not so worried about. I mean, look, I do want to see him get up from a big hit on offense, hold on to the ball, and act like it didn't bother him, like Brian Thomas did many times last year. Brian would get drilled, keep the ball, and get up like it was nothing, and just be like, first down or whatever. I'm not saying he doesn't have it in him. I just want to see that. And then as far as tackling, look, you have to tackle. Yeah. You have to figure that out. So can his body hold up? I'm not worried about, like I said, the conditioning. He can run for days. But conditioning plus the rigors of tackling and hitting and getting hit. Especially
17-week-long season, or if you're in the postseason, you're playing more than that. So, it's a lot. All right, I have a tangent on the other side, so we will get to that. We'll get to some more sound from Travis Etienne, Brian Thomas Jr. They both spoke yesterday, too, so a little bit more Jags offense we'll get to next on Helmets and Heels here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You're locked into a Lee and Kate's Glass Friday on Helmets and Heels. Home of the Jaguars fan.
To see the stadium packed tonight was awesome. One of the best game environments I've been in.
This is 1010XL.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too. From Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. It's the little things like a peach milkshake on a warm day that makes summer sweet. And now you can head to your local Chick-fil-A and enjoy a favorite summer treat again. Hand spun the old-fashioned way, this refreshing milkshake features Chick-fil-A ice cream and peaches. It's the perfect cold treat to enjoy outside on a warm day or with friends and family after dinner. And it's here for just a limited time, so swing by your local Chick-fil-A and treat yourself today.
Got a clogged drain that just won't quit? It's time to bring in the pros. Duck Duck Rooter.
I called Duck Duck Rooter for a clogged kitchen drain. They showed up fast and had it cleared in no time. No mess, no stress.
We've seen it all. Grease clogs, hairballs, mystery goo from the deep. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the duck.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com. Hunters Know Patience is part of the game.
Just got to keep hunting.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz on the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
When the heat is on and we really need to show that we really care, do it with a full arrangement from Kuhn Flowers. This is ET, and let's make their day better than yesterday. Online at KuhnFlowers.com since 1947.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Ahead of tonight's stadium scrimmage at Everbank Stadium with kickoff coming to you at 7, airing on 1010XL 92.5 FM and 1010 AM. Offensive coordinator Grant Udinsky spoke on the benefits of having a game-like environment ahead of next Saturday's first preseason game against the Steelers.
The flow of it is mock game-ish. We're trying to simulate the timing, pace of a game between series, getting corrections, but every once in a while a guy will be out there with a series, we punt, and then he's back out there again. So you can't simulate it perfectly, but we try to make it as close as we can for the guys to kind of get that feeling of a game, the timing of a game, the rhythm of the pregame warm-up, that routine. So that way the first time they go out there for preseason, it's not something completely new.
It's 95 degrees at 2:59. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
We go together, better than birds of a feather, you and me. We change the weather.
Oh, McManus, I do not think this is a song that people would mosh to.
No, I don't think so.
We were just chatting off air about mosh pits and hardcore dancing. I was saying I was going to a show this weekend, and that brought that on. And you said you had a brief mosh experience.
Yeah, it was bad. Daytona Beach, like spring break, like 19,
Was
20.
it an outdoor thing or
No, it was an indoor club. And
okay.
It's kind of like a sunken little dance floor, and I just hit this. I didn't hit him. I just ran in. You know, I thought you'd run into people, so I ran into him as hard as I could. He saw me coming, and it was like he just. I felt so bad. So I ended up. I helped him up. Yeah, I was like,
That's
"Hey man," so I'm like, this ain't for me.
I've seen many people go down in my day. That's I guess some hardcore scenes are not like that. Jacksonville's hardcore scene is very much like pick the guy. If you knock someone over, someone goes down,
you pick them up.
You get them off the ground. Yeah. And so it's definitely, I was like, I definitely have some videos on my phone. I could show you guys of some crazy ones. But you also obviously playing music are a big music fan in general. And that's Lauren and I are too. We listen to very different music for the most part. But music is a big part of our lives. And you played us the song you wrote for your dad the other day too, which I love that because I think music to me is the easiest way if I want to find a way to get a feeling out, songs are the best way to do that.
Yeah, you're right. No doubt about it. Like, in any kind of activity.
Yeah.
Just makes it go by. Like, doing the dishes, I put, like, if nobody's around, I put music in my ears, and it just makes it easy.
Yes.
Like, it's done before you know it. Working out, I love working out and listening to music in the car.
Yeah.
And it does. It helps you think about, like, relationships and stuff, like, I'm on this new thing. Like, Chris Cornell is one of my favorite singers. And he does this rendition of Led Zeppelin's Thank You acoustically. It's so beautiful. Yeah. I want to sing it to my wife. I mean, it's so pretty, man. So I've been working on it. He's tough.
I love that. Yeah,
he's great, though.
He's fantastic. I love him.
We've gone way too young. But it soothes your soul is what music does. And then it gets you can make you happy, make you sad.
Mad. If you want to get mad.
You can go to a mosh pit, kick someone's ass. You can do whatever you want with music, for sure.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Yeah, that's a big part.
There's barely time during the day where, to your point, I'm not listening to something. If it is, if I'm getting ready in the morning, if I'm cooking dinner,
Shower?
Everything. Yeah, I'm the same exact way.
Yep.
All right, let's get to speaking of things Taylor's into. Let's get to Taylor's Tangent now.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
So we've got some drama, Tommy, around the NFL, around the league, with guys that are not happy with their current teams they're on and are pushing back a little bit. We got the news yesterday about Terry McLaurin. He requested a trade from Washington. That one, I feel like, is interesting just because I do feel like that Washington offense for Terry McLaurin, what it looked like last year, the potential that the Commanders do have. You are on a team that I feel like you have it's the perfect spot for you to potentially win. That division in general, I guess Philly's difficult, but you have all opportunity in the world. But this all comes down to it's a business, and we hear that on both sides. The players say it about their contracts and things they want. The teams say it about the contracts and things that they want. But now we had more, which this one has already been working up to getting to this point probably. But Micah Parsons, he's another person that we've obviously heard for not being happy with where they are, at least contractually, and trying to come to terms with that. So there is some updates on the Micah Parsons situation.
Okay.
And they're kind of also now, because it's getting so deep, Tommy, they're now doing trade values because they're comparing. The most recent one is Adam Schefter went on and he tweeted when the Bears got Khalil Mack. So they're comparing it to that. When the Bears got Khalil Mack, what they had to give up to be able to get him from the Oakland Raiders. So to remind people during that, the Bears got Khalil Mack, a 2020 second-round pick, which ended up getting Cole Kmet, and then they got a 2020 seventh-round pick, and I don't even know who that person is, so that shows you that didn't turn into anything. But the Raiders, though, they got a 2019 first-round pick, which they turned into Josh Jacobs. They got a 2020 first-round pick that they turned into Damon Arnett, a 2020 sixth-round, which they traded that pick, a 2020 third, which they got wide receiver Bryan Edwards. So when you first look at it, you're like, okay, they got 2 first-round picks, a sixth and a third. Mm-hmm. What Raiders turned that into, I don't know, because they don't even have Josh Jacobs anymore. And Damon Arnett, I don't even know is starting with them either right now. And then they traded the other pick, and then they got wide receiver Bryan Edwards. So it was a haul, but you have to also turn that haul into things that actually work. But the Adam Schefter tweet that came out said a potential trade coming for Micah Parsons. When 27-year-old Khalil Mack was traded from Oakland to Chicago, the Bears gave up 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and a sixth for Mack, a second-round pick, and a conditional fifth-round pick. Now the 26-year-old Micah Parsons, who is one of only 2 players in the NFL history to register a dozen-plus sacks in each of his first 4 NFL seasons, along with Reggie White, has now requested a trade from Dallas.
Wow, you can't let him go. Man, just pay him.
I know.
What's the problem? I know he missed 4 games.
Who cares?
I'm sure he said 6, but it was 4, I guess. But man, I don't know. I get it. Look, even with McLaurin, he's like, look, I'm part of our success. I'm the best wide receiver.
McLaurin was their wide. He's what did it last year.
No doubt. It depends where he's trying to come in at.
Yeah.
I think DK's the highest at like 30 something, 33. I don't know if he wants that kind of money. Cortland Sutton just signed for around 23 a year.
Yeah.
So he's got to be somewhere in there. Hendrickson, he's did request a trade. They're trying to work it out. He's supposed to only get $16 million a year, so I understand him.
Yeah.
I know McLaurin, he signed a deal not that long. This is last year of his deal, right?
Yes.
I don't know what number he's at, but
that's what I was looking.
Hey, listen, you only play so long. I have no problem with any player trying to get as much as he can get, but at the same time, eventually you just got to be realistic with where you sit.
Yeah.
And the value of the different players at your position and what they're making. And if you could be realistic, you like, for instance, if Trayvon Walker said, I want to be paid higher than TJ Watt, you would say what?
Yeah.
Would you pay him?
If Walker says that?
Yeah, with Trayvon, not after another year of great. Like
just
right now,
in
if
this
he said, hey, man, I want a contract and I want it more than Myles Garrett, I want it more than TJ Watt, would you pay him?
That's hard. I feel like not yet, but sometimes the best thing that you can do is get ahead of those contracts, because if you are expecting Trayvon Walker, which I think everybody is, to continue to develop those pass rush moves and get even better at what he's doing, then you are getting ahead of that, because we talked the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. I know people kind of got upset. Some people got upset about his contract and paying him when they did. But now they got ahead of it. And so by the time, if you would have waited, the longer you wait, the higher these contracts are getting by month now at this point in time. And the same conversation we had with Josh Hines-Allen. That's why a lot of people honestly wanted to pay him earlier than what they did, because if you waited, you felt like you were going to have to overpay. And so that comes into conversation. So you are kind of projecting sometimes. And Jerry Jones commented on that when it came to Micah Parsons. He pretty much said, I don't like to project contracts. I like to pay them when it's time to pay them, not early. But with someone like Micah Parsons, I feel like you know what you have. Like, it's not a question.
He's giving you 40 sacks, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, what is
what
that worth?
What else do you want
to
to see?
What's that worth?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And listen, I love Trayvon. I think he's going to be phenomenal. But
would you pay him right now?
No.
At that, no.
No, I'd say let's see another year.
Yeah.
But I felt that way about Trevor. I'd have paid him more. These owners got a ton of money. I mean, listen, it keeps going up. It keeps going up.
Yeah.
Every year they're making more money, and a lot more money. And the players are making it too. That's why the salaries go up.
Oh, yeah.
Salary caps go up because of the revenues. And the players get half of it.
Yep.
Right? So the whole pay them early.
We don't have that.
Yes, you're saving the owner money. They want to win championships. You know what I mean? And they made the move for Trevor. It's all good.
Yeah.
I hope it turns out that he brings you a Super Bowl, because at the end of the day, or close to it, because that's what you want, right? That's what you're paying for. So, but I do understand your point where you're like, well, if you believe, okay, so Trayvon's done 10.5, right? Something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that. No, he's done two
back-to-back
and
with
then
doubles.
The first one was around 8 or something, or 7. I forget. Anyway, so if you're projecting that, well, you know what? We think he's going to go to 15 and going to do that the next few years, and you'd be like, well,
jump
maybe
on that.
I would. But now let me throw this at, and this is no disrespect to Josh Hines-Allen, but I didn't pay Josh Hines-Allen $31 million a year to give me
under
8 sacks.
Digit. Yeah, no.
I'm sorry. Where's the 17.5 that I
paid you for?
That you were going to continue.
Yeah.
So, now if he comes back with a 15 somewhat or whatever, 13, whatever, a really solid, a good big year, more than 10. You're not paying for 10.
Minimum double digit if you're paying them the amount, or if you're paying Josh Hines-Allen that. If you were to pay Trayvon Walker right now at this point in time, which we know he got the 5th-year option, so they obviously want to wait a little bit also to see what Trayvon Walker is going to be consistently. When you go to example, I'm looking at Terry McLaurin's numbers. So he's had 6 years in the NFL.
Okay.
His rookie season, he had 919 yards and 7 touchdowns. Since then, he's had 1,100 yards, 1,000, 1,100, 1,000, 1,000. 4 touchdowns, 5, 4, and 13 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
I think that, and if you look at the kind of mess that Washington was too, last year offensively, they were a very efficient offense. Previous to that, there was a lot of issues in Washington, and he was still making sure to get you over 1,000 yards all of the seasons except his rookie season. And oh, by the way, he missed 3 games that year.
Yeah. 13's the highest from last year touchdowns.
13 touchdowns, yes.
So, I could see them saying, oh, hey, Terry, we love you, man, but let's do it again.
You only got the double-digit touchdowns one year.
Well, let's do it again, and we'll take care of you. I don't know, and then, listen, here's the thing, and I know former players that are listening like, yeah, but Tom, what about when they say they're going to take care of you and then they don't?
Yeah.
That does happen. Hendrickson feels that way.
Yeah.
Up in Cincinnati, he's like, wait, I thought you said after next year I was gonna, or last year.
Yeah, we already had this conversation.
Yeah, we had this, and now I'm back here, and you're not doing anything that's, you should be doing. I mean, if you're Trey Hendrickson, I want Myles Garrett money. He deserves it.
Yeah,
back-to-back 17.5 seasons on a terrible team.
Yeah.
Not terrible, but terrible defense.
And that's how also Micah Parsons feels. So when you look at Micah Parsons' numbers, his rookie season, 13 sacks, 13.5. His sophomore season, 14, and then 12. So his worst season was a 12, and he missed 4 football games.
Right. And if you go to Josh's totals, he's been like 8, 9, 9, 8,
and then 17 and a half,
and then back to 8. So I want to be, and so I would.
You
think
would want to see more of that.
Yeah. But with Mike, I mean, goodness, who wouldn't want him?
Pay him, I know. And that looking at the edge rusher contract. So TJ Watt obviously is the highest. He averages $41 million a year. Behind that's Myles Garrett at 40. Then Danielle Hunter at 35.5. Max Crosby at 35.5. Bosa at 34. And then it has that little bit of a jump to Josh Hines Allen at 28. Burns at 28. Sweat at 24. Hey, Trey Hendrickson is at 21. He's making $20 million less than TJ Watt. So you can see why Trey Hendrickson is upset. And obviously Parsons is on a rookie deal. So.
Well, like, take those guys right there. Like, so you would pay Micah. You'd pay Trey.
Yeah.
You might want to wait on Terry. You know,
you could see
just
that.
a logical kind of like common sense. I could see them saying, hey, let's.
To your point, like you can
again.
see that you get the yards, but you can get 1,000 yards if you're the main target that they're throwing to every single game. Can you get the touchdowns? Because aside from this last year with the double digits, it has been a lot of 4 touchdown, 5 touchdowns. Granted, that also factors into the quarterback that is also throwing to you. But Micah Parsons right now is only averaging 4.2 because that's his rookie deal. So
right.
My guess is he should be up there sitting with those top Nick Bosa and above guys.
Listen, we know there are like 5 main positions you got to be really good at: quarterback, left tackle, corner, wide out, and that edge rusher. And if you got an edge rusher like Micah Parsons that constantly is in the backfield,
keep him.
I mean, how do you? Man, Jerry, I wouldn't let him go. I wouldn't let. Listen, draft picks are great, but I don't know. You just pay Dak aren't you You're going for a title.
Yeah.
You gotta be why would you pay him all that money if you're not aiming for the title? And how do you get to a title quicker or better than with Mike or not having, compared to not having him?
I mean, you could see too their defense last year once he got hurt and missed those games, how quickly it changes without Mike. To me, that is the most significant thing. When a player is not playing and everything drastically changes, that's your biggest indicator of what he brought, not just alone of getting those double-digit sacks, but probably how everything worked and functioned in general and the leadership side of what Micah Parsons.
Well, think third down. You get off the field with Micah Parsons. You give the ball back to your offense. When he's not out there, maybe you only do that half the times that he would normally if he was out there. That's 3 possessions or something like that. Those could be points, easily. So
his exact quote, Tommy, was Micah Parsons was, "After repeated shots at myself and all the narratives, I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys." I feel like that's almost an unrepairable quote.
That's a shame that it got to that point. Shame on the Jones family for allowing that to happen. I don't know. I don't know. It's like you don't know certain decisions. Like you could go back with the Jags and why didn't you just pay Calais Campbell $15 million back then? Why He was so good.
Yeah.
He made the biggest difference in not just the line, the whole team, the attitude of the city.
He was fantastic. If you want to talk about the ideal football player and football human, that is Calais Campbell.
And you didn't want to pay him, and it's crazy. You know what I mean? Just pay him.
Yeah.
Why not just take care of him? And that's a guy you don't have to wait a year on. You know what you're getting out of him.
You know who Washington, so went from Dallas to Washington and then now is back in Dallas across from Micah Parsons, who had 10.5 sacks last year?
Fowler.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fowler's still making plays.
He's going.
But, I didn't like his off the field. But that guy is a physical football player. That was one thing when he played for the Jags. He had some sacks, but against the run, he would light dudes up. And,
the 2017 season, he had 8 sacks that year.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he was all over.
I was there when him and Ngakoue were going to go at. That was great. I was let him go. Let him go. We will let them hurt each other, but let's see who wins a little.
That team had some personalities for sure.
Yeah, they did. No doubt.
All right, I want to give away some lunch before we hit break. So we'll have some free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 3, and you get free lunch to Chick-fil-A today. And on the other side, we'll get into some more of this Jags talk and how that may look tonight for that scrimmage. If you guys are going out, reminder that it is you'll be able to get in at 5 o'clock, warm-ups and everything starting at 6. Seems like the scrimmage will start around 7, go to around 8:30, so keep that in mind when you're heading down to the stadium. We'll catch you on the other side. This is Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Lee and Kate's Glass Friday. Guaranteed greatness since 1926.
It's right here. Hello.
Radio waves sound great when you're next to ocean waves. 1010XL. Catch the wave.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. South State has helped our businesses and charity grow and thrive. Whether you're expanding your operations, managing cash flow, or planning for the future, South State Bank offers forward-thinking, tailored solutions to meet your unique business needs. With expert guidance and best-in-class service, South State is here to help you move your business forward. Visit southstatebank.com or stop by your local branch today. Let South State become your partner in taking your business to the next level. That's South State Bank, member FDIC.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save up to $800 on select smart beds. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
If a storm impacts our area, JEA is ready to respond. Our team of over 2,000 employees is prepared to move in when the storm moves on. Once restoration efforts begin, we won't stop until everyone is back online. And we'll keep you informed with real-time updates at JEA.com and the MyJEA app. We're ready for storm season and want you to be too. Visit JEA.com/storm to learn what you can do now to prepare.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and book your space today.
I'm Hacker, and I'll get you more Gator Chomps during the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. New episodes drop every Friday. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. I always brag on what you guys have on-road and off-road. But Greg, tell everybody about what's happening on the water, because you got loads of opportunity.
We do. We've got lots of boats in stock. We got the Honda 19-foot Fisher Runabout. We've got the Coach pontoons, all of them with that legendary Honda motor and legendary Honda reliability, which you always want when you're out on the water.
You could be cruising along the Intercoastal or out on the ocean, but check it out. Facebook page ready for all of you to see, Cycles of Jacksonville, or their showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Here, Tom McManus here, RJ Saunders over there. RJ, how you feeling over there, by the way? I feel like I haven't got to talk to you today.
Yeah, we all doing good. How are you guys?
We are good. We're ready for football. We've been talking a lot of football, and we were talking about you started making your cuts to fix college football. I feel like we're going to have to do a whole segment one day, Tommy, of you telling us what your new college football league will look like.
It might take more than that.
Honestly,
Lauren's not going to be happy. She's going to be like, no, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But, yeah. You could trim and like I said, we won't name any schools, but I showed you the ones that I cut.
Yep.
And if they made their own league,
it'd still be good football.
Really good football. Yeah. Like it's not 1AA, no disrespect to them. It's still really good Division I football. Could have their own TV, could have their own rivalries.
Yeah. We would have seen Lamar Jackson in the AA, not in the big one if we go. Little sneak peek to what that looks like.
Yeah, but I think I could trim a little more because I have 51 teams right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think you could probably knock it down a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right, though, in the fact of Lauren Brooks probably will not like your new college football league. But speaking of Lauren Brooks, let's she's on vacation, but she still has a pest for us. So let's get to her Terminix pest of the day.
Lauren Brooks for my friends at Terminix who bring you the pest of the day every day. Terminix has the best customer service and the best treatments to ensure your home and business don't have to deal with any pests. They treat Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town because they do such a great job. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. Today's Pest of the Day is back in the college football realm. I was so excited to read the USA Today Sports rankings of the top 25 college football stadiums. They tracked records, traditions, and environments. No surprise, LSU's Tiger Stadium is 1, Penn State's Beaver Stadium is 2, and Ohio State's Ohio Stadium is 3. Florida's Ben Hill Griffin Stadium is 9th, but where would you find FSU's Doak Campbell Stadium? 20th? Are you kidding? Ranked behind Oregon, Washington, and Utah, just to name a few. Look, I'm well aware the Noles went 2-10 last year, but I've been to Doak Campbell at night for a game, and that place is electric. There's no chance it's 20th. You're welcome, FSU fans. Tom, Taylor, discuss amongst yourselves.
How you feeling? I haven't been to Doak, so I can't personally comment on that side. How do you?
Well, listen, it's not fair because half of it was under construction last year, and their team stunk. So, and I'm glad BC won, obviously, because I'm a fan of Bill O'Brien, and actually my defensive tackle mate's son was playing in the game, made a couple big hits as a linebacker, so that was fun. Joe Marinaro, shout out Joe. But it just felt weird. It didn't feel like FSU at all, so I can't really say. I look when they're rocking, yeah. And by the way, the top three I've played in two of them. Penn State I played in about 3 times, and then Ohio State we played in once in 1989. Believe it or not. And it was unbelievable. I remember going to Penn State my sophomore, I redshirt freshman year. So I was like short yardage, goal line, playing punt, kickoff, that kind of thing. And you look behind you, and the stands just go up forever. And like BC's like 35,000, 40 standing room only, maybe a little bit more now, but back then, and you're just like, whoa, this is pretty cool. Like it even fired, it fired.
Oh yeah.
I always loved playing on the road. I really did, because it's like 300, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's like us against them. Who cares?
The gladiators coming out.
We got nothing to lose. Like, who cares about all the fans, all this stuff, I remember going out to the old Oakland Coliseum. We played the Raiders in 96, and they came out to Hell's Bells from AC/DC, and I was like, whoa, I'm on fire. Like, oh, my gosh, this is incredible. You get so fired up.
Yeah.
It's the whole atmosphere. I've been to Ben Griffin. It's incredible.
Rockin'.
No doubt. Never been to LSU. The Orange Bowl was rocking back when Miami was good. We played them in 90 down there. That was pretty cool. That was so cool because it was so nostalgic, the Dolphins and everything. But yeah, man, listen, it's awesome. High school, college, pro, it's all the same.
And that's what the college environment is so fun, because obviously you have the fans that are fans no matter what, but then because of the student side of it and that like I go here feeling, it adds like this extra level to that. And I know when you can feel it through the TV when you're watching certain. Penn State's one of those. That's one that anytime I watch a Penn State game, I'm like, that crowd, like I don't like them, but I really want to just hang out. And
listen, I think the real number one, and I've never been, there would be a bucket list, is Virginia Tech. You come out to Enter Sandman.
Oh yeah.
Come on. That's got to be the greatest open. Now, maybe other schools out there do something similar, but man, I would love to see that live.
Oh yeah. That one definitely looks like a fun one.
It's like a cement tunnel. It seems really long too. Like you're going into this gladiator, arena.
That definitely feeling where you're going. And that's what I think too. You were just talking about Doak Campbell, and I have not been to a game there, but to your point, last year it was limited. It's under construction, so they didn't have all the fans in there. Right. Also, you can tell the difference. Go back to 2017 here. That stadium, the stadium here, I guess, was it TIAA still then? It was so much fun. It was so loud.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Towels. Nobody sat the entire time.
Playoff game?
Yes,
the
that's
Buffalo
what
playoff
it was.
Game?
I mean,
Insane.
there's just a different feeling when you have football that matters. The fans here are so dedicated. I give that to them, and I'll defend that to my last day. Anytime somebody says something about Jacksonville Jaguars fans, I defend it to the end, because they are the most loyal. They'll sit out there in 100 degrees and cheer on this team no matter what, even if they're only winning 3 games during the season. But that level that it goes up when the Jaguars are good and playing competitive, fun football it's just, you don't see many things like it, honestly.
And as a player, like oh my gosh, playing in front of your hometown crowd, making a big play, having them go crazy, even just the national anthem, the song. We used to come out to Welcome to the Jungle. Like it was, like you're just ready to just go, whatever it takes. So, yeah, and that's what makes it special here in Jack. When we win, you feel it.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't mean just on game day. It's all during the week.
It's
Everybody's
everywhere.
happy.
There's flags everywhere, shirts, hats.
Yeah, they're wearing their stuff. And then when they lose, people are like, I don't want to, I'm so mad. They'll talk about it, but they get mad about it. I get it, because it's emotional, and when we win, man, this city is absolutely on fire.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fun.
And like you said,
so
here
fun.
too, that's something that you hope we see a lot more wins in general next year, but they were 3-5 at home last year. You want to win at home.
You got to win at home.
Yeah.
You got to win most of your games at home. True story, 1996, was living in Pelican Point with Pete Mitchell, and we were like 2-5, 3-6, and we'd walk down the hall, and people would kind of give us the head nod, but not really say hi. Maybe hi, but not really, talk to us.
Not shaking your hand like, how you doing?
No. And we went on our run, next thing you know, we're winning. They were leaving cookies, beers at our door.
Oh, yeah.
We'd come
that
home
changes quickly.
It was great. We'd come home from like an away trip late at night. There'd be like a little thing of beer for us and some cookies. That. We're like, all right, this is what happens when you win around
like, this
here.
This feels kind of fun.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Yes.
And I mean this. I hope they get it back for all you fans' sake. And I hope for the players, man. It's really special when you're a part of something like that and can really affect someone's life based on how you play the game of football, which is really cool.
And that's what when they brought in free agents last year, and a lot of them they brought in were from organizations that had recently won. When you're talking about a Darnell Savage coming from Green Bay and Eric Armstead coming from the 49ers, and you talk about all the Gabe Davis coming from Buffalo.
Yeah.
None of those seemed to pan out well last year, and so you're hoping that you see kind of a rebound from Eric Armstead and Savage this year, obviously Gabe Davis being gone. But it is that has to suck double for them because they're coming from organizations where they were winning consistently. Like Buffalo, all three of those guys probably haven't seen many losses in the cities that they came from. And then you come here, and there were high hopes at the beginning of last year of what this team could do, and where, especially when it came to divisionally, and one of the easier divisions, you could win this, and this is what it looks like. And then things kind of started to spiral out of control. But that's when you need the guys in the locker room that can kind of pick everything back up, at least more morally, and wanting to add that energy to things. And so I do think when we talk about a Travis Hunter, I feel like if anybody can still bring the smiles and that side of things, it's a guy like Hunter.
Well, okay, so, and great points, like where they came from, but then take the player themselves. Eric Armstead
not doing anything.
Well, and he doesn't seem to be a vocal leader. Yeah. He's not like, it doesn't look like, like he gets gassing around and was like, all right, let's go, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't feel
Gabe Davis wasn't like that at all. So even though they came from these great organizations, them individually weren't what you wanted. Because you're right. You're like, well, wait a minute. You come from here, the Bills, the Niners, the Green Bay. Yeah. Why isn't this working? Like, what's going on here? Did it become a country club? Like, hey, whatever. We'll just show up and get paid.
So we're in Florida. We're vacationing.
We're having a good time. It's not a big deal. They pay us. Fans are cool. Coach doesn't yell at us too much. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know. It showed in your 4-13 record.
Yep.
And your collapse the year before, right? Something went amiss. I mean, what did we all, 22 was great. By the way, remember how much Trevor ran in 22?
Yes. Let's do that. Bring it back.
Remember when he ran over the guy in the sideline at the Chiefs game in the divisional playoff? Remember that? We're like,
and that's when you saw a little like oomph from Trevor then too. That's when you saw like when he was running people over, but also the little things he would do, the little first down right in people's face. I'm like, do that. Give that energy, because you as a quarterback, everybody's watching you, and the good's going to be put on you, but the bad's going to be put on you, and you have to be able to kind of take control of all of that. And that's what I think a lot of people want to see, is Trevor just fully take over this offense.
And take what they give you. Yeah. So if they vacate in cover 0 and there's nobody there, go. You know what I mean? Like,
don't hesitate.
If it's third down, and I know you want the bomb, but if that little hook route is open, hit them.
Yeah.
Take what they're giving. Like, that's like, if you go back to all the great quarterbacks, they all want the big play.
Of course.
Everybody does. But those
quarterbacks, they want to throw the ball. I get it.
And those big plays will open up if you take care of all those little ones. You know what I mean? The next thing you know, they're lulled to sleep, and bam, you hit them over the top, and they're like, holy cow, what happened to us, right?
Yeah. And that's what, in that Bootleg podcast, they go into depth about how Liam Cohen, and maybe I'll get to one of those clips on the other side too, because it was really good. They broke down how Liam Cohen used screens to do so much other stuff that he confuses the defenses. And so that's what you're kind of hoping you start to see here, is taking advantage of certain moments. But part of that is Trevor being able to read the things that are happening, but also being able to take off and being willing to take off when he can. Yeah. So let's get to some of those. I'll do one more of those bootleg cuts on the other side, but also we have still sound from ETN and BTJ. Maybe we'll hit some of those on the final segment up next on Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's a Helmets and Heels. Lee and Kate's Glass, Friday.
5, 4, 3, come on! 2.
Number 1 in the 904 1010XL. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
The reigning national champs will be taking on the Miami Hurricanes here in Jacksonville for the Jacksonville Hoop Showdown at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena on November 16th. 5 Gators have made the Athlon Sports 2025 All-SEC preseason team, including Jake Slaughter, first-team center, Jaden Boss, second-team running back, Eugene Wilson, second-team wide receiver, Tyreek Sapp, second-team defensive lineman, and DJ Lagway, fourth-team quarterback.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. Summer is here, and that means it's time to feast on delicious Bono's St. Louis ribs. The small and large rib platters are at a low price to beat the summer heat, and you get 2 southern sides and garlic toast with each platter. It's an unbelievable deal that won't last long, so head to Bono's today to get your St. Louis ribs platter. I'm hungry now just talking about it. Head to Bono's today, and remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
There's certain places you know if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Cold Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bolt City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate, full of choices and all of them good.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 1st, 1971, Richard Petty wins the Dixie 500 in Atlanta, Georgia, to become the first NASCAR driver to win $1 million in career earnings.
Let's get the work done.
Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet, quick feet, quick feet.
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Go, here we go. Let's go. It's live now. Let's go.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, I'm going to cool down by getting to some more of these clips. We haven't got to get to everything today, but it's been a pretty full show with some other stuff. But I do want to go back to one of the ones, Tommy, that Grant Udinski was talking about. And he had a lot of good stuff when he spoke to media yesterday about offensively some of the competitions, the running back competition, which we've talked a ton about, just the comfortability of Travis Hunter in the offense and the comfortability between him and Trevor Lawrence in general and some of the other wide receivers with Trevor Lawrence. But he did talk about Jaquindon Jackson, which we mentioned the other day also. A lot of people on our station, on the Superstation here lately have been talking about Jaquindon Johnson. So I do want to play this because it was Grant Udinski talking about this, and this was kind of in the midst too where he was talking about the running back room in general, but specifically Jackson.
He's taking advantage of his opportunities. I mean, you kind of said it right there in the question. I think all the guys have really, especially with some of the injuries, and at back, you're always going to get some rotation because a guy's running 70 yards down the field in the heat, finishing the run, so you got to have the next guy up and ready to roll. So it's really been his understanding of what we're asking him to do and his understanding of the scheme. And then I'll be excited to see when we go full pads with live tackling when we're up against an opponent to see, what shows up after contact for him.
Yeah, I'll mark it down right now. He'll be one of the stars of the preseason. Mm-hmm. He will, because first of all, I don't know how much reps he'll get early, but he'll be going against second, third, and probably maybe even third or fourth team. So he should have
run over some people.
He's a big guy. He's not afraid of contact. He thumps it up in there. He's got speed. He's not like your breakaway 80-yarder, but he'll rip a 40-yarder no problem before you blink of an eye. He's got quickness. I like him a lot. I'm surprised he lasted in the 7th round. I don't know what maybe he ran a bad 40 or something. But he's going to be fun to watch in pads. Number 38, check him out. And like tonight, they'll show some, but they're not tackling to the ground tonight. So it'll just be a small taste of it. But yeah, he's impressed. LaQuint Allen is impressed. Junior, he's really impressed too. Both those guys. And then we've talked about BTN. They've been good at Bigsby. And then Tootin gets back healthy. So hey, good problem to have. You got 5 backs that you like.
That you feel like is a true competition right now. And you and I have talked a lot about the order if we were today right now to decide, and both of us kind of lead ETN. I've heard other people on the station say Tank as that number 1 RB right now, and so we will see how all of that shakes out, but it's definitely one of the more fascinating. Look, he had, by the way, Jaquindon Jackson had 15 rushing touchdowns last year with Arkansas.
Well, he could be your short yardage goal line back. We saw that was a problem last year. We all said it was the O-line, but having a bruising running back that goes downhill and can bounce off people, hopefully, that could be a great thing. So yeah, he's somebody to definitely keep an eye on. And I don't know how what you're gonna do with him just yet. You know what I mean? I'll tell you. Aside from him and all of them, they've been good. I really like what ETN's doing in the pass catching game too.
Yeah, me too.
And he is going up in between the tackle. Like yesterday and the last 2 practices, ETN has stood out run game and pass game. Now, granted, they're not tackling to the ground, so you don't know. Like even some of those runs that they get to bust out, you don't know if someone could have dove and tripped him up or hit him right there. You just don't know.
Yeah.
It's like these. Trevor's throwing all these touchdowns. Well, some of them he would have got sacked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just he would have got hit. You don't know what would have happened. So it's all good. You put out there what you want and look for what you want. But, overall, I think, it's going to be I would say, Tank gets the first carry most practices, so he's got to be number 1. But I think ETN's right there, and I think they're hopeful Tootin can be a really, weapon for them because he does have that break from 80. So does Tank.
Yeah.
And ETN's about 60.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of ETN, RJ, I want to get to one of the ETN cuts too then because, Tommy, that just reminded me. He was asked a few questions. Number 1, about the running back competition and how he's approaching that, which he had some good answers on that. But he also spoke, though, on Liam Cohen's play calling and how that kind of he play calls to the strengths of the running backs. And so, RJ, hit that one for me real quick.
A guy like me, man, you go out there and you just do whatever coach calls. You can't get into what's going on, but I feel like Coach Cohen has a better feel of what the guys are good at, and he's out there putting us in place to make plays, and that's what makes us special because he plays to our strengths and better than our weaknesses.
Yeah.
This is something I talked about so much last year when I kept asking, why he's just, to me, he's that a perimeter back. He's the best when you get him on the outside. And there were so many times last year where you were trying to get him up the middle. And I just feel like, and I don't want to put a shot on Etienne here, but there's just certain running backs are the ones that can run guys over and force missed tackles. Their vision in the middle is a little better. Etienne, to me, isn't quite that type of guy. And so if you can play call around what that running back does best, not saying he can't do that because there are situations where he can, but that's just not his biggest strength. But you get Etienne on the outside and there's any green there, that's where he's the most dangerous. And then also you add the pass catching aspect of that. And I think that's what we've seen a lot in camp.
Etienne needs a crease. He doesn't make the crease. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And that outside zone, you're absolutely, it worked all the time.
So I know.
And then they wouldn't do it. You're like, why are you doing it? The guard would pull out, knock that guy, and they'd seal off the edge. And there was this shoot right off the tight end's butt for the most part, and he would have very successful run play. I like the way he's attacked it, man. Look, people, we put these football players on a certain level, like they're still human.
Yeah.
So when Etienne's sitting there going like, okay, I know what Tank did last year. I know what people are saying about me. I know they
just drafted
multiple guys, and I know maybe I'm the forgotten man. And he could have went one of two ways, right? He could have been forget this. You know what? Just trade me. I'm out of here. I'm not. But he hasn't. He's gone the opposite. He's like, no, I'm in here. I can fight.
I can win this battle.
I'm ready to fight. And I do think. And he's smart because he's a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
He's showing that he can play.
Yeah.
And whether it's here or somewhere else, he's showing that he can play.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. And it's a great attitude. And I hope he does stick around because I think he can be really good in the perimeter and in the out of the backfield or in the slot pass game from time to time.
Yeah, me too. And I'm definitely rooting for Etienne. And when we did our bold takes that probably a month and a half ago ish, mine was that we'll see this rebound, this resurgence of what we saw in 2022 with Travis Etienne, but I don't know if it'll be a full season here. And that's not me. I don't know anything, nothing like that. I'm just saying that I feel like depending what happens with this running back room, there may be some difficult decisions. And if someone starts calling you in week 4 or 5, I think they would listen depending what's happening behind him.
They just got to have a back that won't fumble and that can pick up the blitz.
Yes.
So if they have that, they could say, okay, Travis, we love you, man.
Yeah.
But someone else needs you too, and we're going to get something out. I don't know anything either, but you can't keep 5.
Yeah.
You can't even keep 4 and keep everybody happy. You know what I mean? So and let's be honest. Look, I'm sure they love Etienne. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But their guys are the guys they drafted. That's the ones they want eventually. They want Tootin to be the workhorse.
Oh, yeah.
They want Allen to be the third down back. They want Jackson to be the bull.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the 3. Now that doesn't mean they don't love Tank and Etienne, but
that's like they drafted those guys because they saw those things in those guys. And look, when we talk about the pass catching side, that's something that he adds too. So you do have running backs that can do all of those things. What does that look like come week 1 and come week 6? Well, by week 6, we will see. Another one we heard from Brian Thomas Jr. yesterday too, and they asked, he was talking about the pressure to ensure that he produces in year 2 like he did in year 1.
I wouldn't say it's having a target on my back. I would just say, I just got to come out and prepare the right way, come out and be ready for whatever defense throws at us, and just come out and play team ball and just get the job done. That's my biggest thing, is getting the job done, getting wins.
Taylor, I got to give you credit because earlier in the week you made a comment about, you're like, look, last year, Trevor and Brian Thomas only had like 1 game together.
Yeah.
Right? So there wasn't this like automatic chemistry type thing. Now they're working on it, right? I think the last practice they found it a little bit. There were a couple drops early, but then as practice progressed, they were starting to really connect. Anticipation throws, making in the right spot. So I think it might take some time. Look, most of that success last year was a different quarterback.
Yeah.
May take a little time for that chemistry to develop, but it feels like it's starting to.
Yes, it does. Speaking of chemistry, I think down at the stadium, getting ready for the scrimmage, we have Hayes Carline joining us.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Hello, Hayes. How you guys doing down there?
We are doing fantastic, Taylor. It's great to talk with you. We've got blue skies, puffy white clouds. We've got a gorgeous football field. And we got a mock game tonight here at the stadium, so this is the place to be. We're looking forward to a fun Frangie show. Mark Lamping's going to join us at 4:20, the Jaguars president, and we're really looking forward to having a good time down here this evening and seeing what Liam Cohen has cooked up for the fans.
I love it. People piling into the bank really makes it feel like we're back to football season. Hayes, what are you guys, we've talked a little bit about scrimmage-wise, and they said a mockish type situation. What are you expecting, and would you like to see by the end of the night, if there's anything you can name?
I want to see some intensity in the proper setting. And what I mean by that is Liam Cohen at his introductory press conference said, when we break the huddle, the first thing the opponent sees is our offensive line, and that's got to mean something. And the way that football is set up now in the NFL, that's all talk until about now. Mm-hmm. Now you've been in pads for several days. You now have a chance to start building that physical identity that this team absolutely has to have if they're going to have a chance this year to surprise people. So I want to see some intensity. I mean, it's a practice and you want to take care of each other, but I want to feel like this was a physical practice and a mock game more than just a basic practice that they elected instead of having in the Miller Electric Center to have here. This team's 5-10 in Jacksonville over the last 2 years combined. Playing on this surface in front of these fans, it needs to mean something. I think this is a big night for Liam Cohen to start to put that in front of the players, emphasize it. So as long as it's physical tonight, it'll be a good night.
Yes, I agree. And Tommy and I have been talking about that physical side quite a bit and just wanting to, hear the thuds, see the thuds. And I know fans probably will also be wanting to see a lot of Travis Hunter. So hopefully we get some fun stuff with that too. But Hayes, Frank, you guys have a good night tonight. Enjoy the scrimmage, enjoy the show, and we will chat soon.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Frank and Hayes down at Everbank getting ready for the scrimmage again. Fans can start entering Everbank Stadium at 5 o'clock. Around 6 o'clock, they'll start warming up. Around 7 for a game, running until around 8:30 or the mock game, we will say. So I hope everybody has a good time tonight. For Lauren Brooks on vacation, for Tom McManus, for RJ Saunders, I'm Taylor Dahl, and everybody have a great weekend.